Hello, my name is Roisin and welcome back to my channel. So if you have been paying attention to my community tab and my Instagram recently, you may have noticed I have been floating an idea of doing a book club, and that idea has come to fruition. So next year I am going to be hosting a book club throughout the course of the year. I have always loved book clubs, but I have had trouble maintaining them with people in real life. So I thought instead of that, I would invite all of you to join a book club with me. And this book club is going to have a particular theme. This is going to be the Big Book Club. This is a logo here that I made. Basically, the idea is that over the past few years, I have noticed myself reading fewer and fewer big, chunky books. I feel like I've been drawn away from them because of the excitement of the new, of reading something shorter means you can read a new book quicker, because of reading vlogs, which I think are often a deterrent to longer books, and because I am intimidated by them. I have lots of long books on my TBR that I haven't got to. So the point of this is to try to help us to gird our loins and read some of those bigger books. What I am classifying as a big book is any book over 500 pages. And of course, as these books are bigger, I think it would be quite the ask to ask people to do it once a month. So this is going to be a book club that happens every 2 months. So there are going to be 6 books over the course of 2023. And I'm going to talk to you about the first 3 of those books here, as well as our co-host and how things will run. So my idea is to have a live show here on this channel at the end of the 2nd month. So the first live show will be sometime at the end of February. I'm assuming this time it will be a Saturday because our co-host is in a different time zone to me. So weekends will probably be the easiest. So yes, there will be a live show, but also during the course of reading the book, I have started a Discord channel. I'm not hugely familiar with Discord, so if you have any tips, please do let me know. But the link to the Discord channel server, but the link to the Discord is in the description if you would like to go and talk there. So we can have spoilery chat, we can have spoiler-free chat about the books, so that you can kind of interact with each other as you're going along over the course of the 2 months. I will of course be in that channel as well to talk to you. I don't know if it's called a channel. Anyway, so yes, that will be happening over the course of the months, because 2 months is quite a long period of time to go without talking about it. So hopefully that will be of interest to you. And as I said, every book I'm going to have a co-host to do the live show with me. So it won't just be me talking at you. I will have a discussion with my co-host and with all of you in the chat. I've also themed all of these books, so I'm trying to get co-hosts who match my theme in some way or another. But without further ado, let's start talking about the books so you know what I'm talking about. So the first theme is a book in translation. You know, if you've been around here for a long time, that I read books from around the world fairly regularly. So I thought a book in translation was going to be a good idea. And the book that we are reading for that is the Makioka Sisters by, they always just put the surname on the front of these. The Makioka Sisters by Junichiro Tanisaki. And I have the translation from Edward G. Seidensticker, but I don't know if that is the only translation. I think that's something that will be of interest to talk about with this and one of the others as well, which translation you are reading. And my co-host for this is going to be the lovely Matthew Sharapa. Matthew is a co-host for the Women in Translation Month readathon, which happens in August. So I thought reading in translation would be a great one to do with him, and he has also had this one on his TBR. So we are going to be reading this together in January and February. In the years leading up to the Second World War, 4 sisters live in dilapidated houses in Osaka and Ashiya, and each navigate their own complex personal relationships with the fading luster of the Makioka family name. Rich with breathtaking descriptions of ancient customs and an ever-changing natural world, Junichiro Tanisaki evokes in loving detail a long-lost way of life, even as it withers under the harsh glare of modernity. So yes, this is a Japanese classic, modern classic, I think, which was first published in 1957. So yeah, it's a modern classic, and we will be reading that one together, and I'm very excited for it. I love books that are a look at culture and a changing of culture. I think that that's very interesting. Looking forward to reading that one with Matthew, and if you would like to join us, that will be at the end of February, the live show for this one. Next, of course, I had to include a classic. I read classics semi-regularly on here, and I think big intimidating classics are kind of one of the main things that made me want to start this book club in the first place, because a lot of classics tend to be longer, and I have read a few of them this year, including I read Dr. Zhivago and Anna Karenina, which are both two very long Russian classics. And so we're going to be reading one very long Russian classic, War and Peace by Lev Tolstoy. This is what we're planning to read in March and April, and it is an enormous book. I think I underestimated quite how large it was before I bought it. It is kind of twice as long as the other books, but the point is to try things that look intimidating. So I hope you won't be put off by the giantness of War and Peace, and having some other people to discuss it with and a community to help keep you going will be the encouragement that you need to read this book. Now, I actually had 4 long classics that I was interested in reading, but my co-hosts, Milena from Milena Reads and Charlotte from Coiny Reads, chose War and Peace. So if you want to blame anyone, you can blame them. Although it was on my shortlist, so I am at least in part to blame. I have the translation. The translation I have for this one is by Javier and Larissa Volokonsky. So it is a different translator to the one that I read for Anna Karenina, which is also Tolstoy. So yeah, I know there are definitely lots of different translations of this. So again, discussions of translations are welcome in the Discord and in the chat at the live show as well. And like I said, with Milena and Charlotte, we will be doing a live show for this one at the end of April. So this is from sophisticated St. Petersburg soirees to the breathless troika rides through the snow. From the bloody front line at Austerlitz to a wife's death in childbirth, Tolstoy conjures a broad panorama of rich, messy, beautiful and debased human life. We follow the fates of open-hearted, impulsive Pierre Buzakov, his melancholy friend Prince Andrei, and the enchanting Natasha Rostova, as history and fiction are combined in one of the wisest and most enthralling novels ever written. Now, I have heard some people, I'm pretty sure it was Simon from Footnotes and Tangents on Instagram, who said that this is quite a gossipy book that's like a soap opera, kind of, like a historical soap opera. So if that sounds more intriguing and less intimidating to you, hopefully it will. And I hope you do join us for reading this monster. And then in May and June, we are going to be reading a Booker Prize winning book. As you know, I enjoy Booker Prize winners often, particularly Wolf Hall and The Mirror and particularly Wolf Hall and Bring Up the Bodies are ones I talk about in here, and they are very chunky as well. And since we're doing a Booker book, of course, my co-host had to be the Booker boy himself, Kieran from KD Books, and together we are going to be reading Possession by A.S. Byatt. This one looks quite a lot smaller, but it is still 600 pages. So it definitely fits with the theme of the book club. Possession is an exhilarating novel of wit and romance, at once a literary detective novel and a captivating love story. It is the tale of a pair of young scholars investigating the lives of 2 Victorian poets. Following a trail of letters, journals and poems, they uncover a web of passion, deceit and tragedy, and the quest becomes a battle against time. So this sounds really intriguing, and it is a mix of historical and literary fiction, which are my 2 favourite genres, so definitely excited to read that one for that, and we're going to read it along with Kieran, who hates everything, so that should be a fun live show discussion. This is also one of my mum's favourite books of all time, which I have done a video reading her favourite books, and which I will leave linked in the cards above, and I plan to do another one next year, so maybe around this time I will be doing that. So those are the 3 books for the first 6 months of the year. I'm also making plans for the second half of the year. I am planning to read a 2023 release that is over 500 pages, a non-fiction that is over 500 pages, and also I'm maybe a genre fiction or maybe a book club's choice for the final one for the final book, which is in November and December. So if you have any ideas, would you rather do a genre fiction or something slightly outside of my comfort zone, or would you rather choose yourself from the ones on my TBR? We can have polls and things to decide. Let me know that in the comments down below. And also, if you know, if you want to let me know in the comments down below your favourite booktubers who you think would be interested in reading non-fiction that's over 500 pages and a new release, let me know in the comments if there's anyone you think would be interested in collaborating with me on this project and being my co-host in the second half of next year. I hope you are excited. I hope you are looking forward to joining me on this adventure. Do make sure you are following me on Instagram if you aren't already, because I will do an announcement video for this closer to the second half of the year, but I think there will be a lot of information on my Instagram as well. So I will leave that linked in the comments. So I will leave that linked in the description down below, alongside my 4 co-hosts for the first 3 books next year. Let me know if you're planning to join, which books you are excited for, any recommendations that you think would fit in with my book club. I would love to hear what you have to say. And thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe so you're here for when we do our book club next year, as well as all the other things I talk about on this channel. And I will see you again very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.